From KETK, you're watching East Texas Live.
Welcome back. Newsnation's Leland, Vittert, and his father were determined to break the world's labels on being placed on people in his new book, Born Lucky, that is out now and available on Amazon. Leland details his journey with autism and his father's dedication. He joins us now to talk about his book. How are you doing today?
David, it's nice to be with you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So your parents never told you about your autism or anyone about your autism diagnosis. Why are you writing this book now?
It's a great question, and you think it doesn't have anything to do with the timing of the discussion about autism, but so many parents feel the way mine did. When I was 5 or 6 years old, they were told that I needed to be evaluated. No parent wants to hear that. So they get me to some psychology testing center, big medical office building. They're in the waiting room, linoleum floors, stale coffee, old magazines. And waiting for me, they're nervous, and out walks the woman who'd done the testing. And she says to my parents, look, he's got a lot of problems. No social skills, actually sort of repellent social skills. Kids could not interact with me. I could not interact with them. Major spread in an IQ test from what is a learning disability that's a 20-point spread between the two halves of your IQ test. I had about a 70-point spread, so in some ways genius, and in other ways, in the parlance of the day, mentally retarded. And she said it is very difficult to understand what's going on inside his head. And my dad said, is there anything we can do? Any parent would ask that. And she said, generally not. So you can imagine how hopeless and helpless a parent feels at that moment. So this book, Born Lucky, it is my story, but it's about all of the families who are suffering right now. For every family, this is real hope, whether a kid is suffering with autism or ADHD or anxiety, whatever it is, the bullying that goes on in school right now, this is real hope that a parent can make an enormous difference, which is the hope my parents weren't given.
Yes, sir. And so why did you kind of want to dedicate this book to your father?
It's a great question. This is really a love letter to my dad and a thank you. You know, he quit his job. He said, I knew that you wouldn't have any friends, so I decided to become your friend. And he was. Every day he was there when I got home from school to put me back together. So 8th grade, I'm in art class. I write this story in Born Lucky. One of many days that was awful in growing up. And a teacher didn't think I was going to become Picasso. He was right. But in front of the entire art class that were sitting there with paintings and whatever else around, he says, you know, Vittert, if my dog was as ugly as you, I would shave its rear end and make it walk backwards. Okay. Humiliated, crushed, defeated, I came home from school. And my dad would then spend 3 or 4 hours kind of putting me back together. I would take out my anger and my frustrations on him. And then he would leave my room. I'd either go to sleep or have homework to do or whatever. He'd leave my room and go downstairs. And I didn't know this until I started writing the book and interviewing him. But then he would start crying by himself, alone in that dark living room, day after day after day after day. And the next morning, he would get up and take me to school, because he felt as though the best thing to do for me was not to take the adversity away, kind of put me in the bubble, have the world adapt to me. He wanted to adapt me to the world and hold my hand through the adversity.
Yes, sir. And this book, His Lessons, goes far beyond autism. What is your message for families of kids who are struggling, and can you put a face on autism for us?
Look, I am not professing to have a cure or a prescription or any of those things. This is a parenting book, but written from the perspective of a kid, right? So there's a big difference there. And the whole idea here is to show parents the difference they can make, right? George Will wrote about the mountain-moving power of parental love. And my dad writes the afterword. I think it's one of the best parts of the book, the best. And he said I had zero expectations, which is mostly true. But the expectations he had of me were of character and hard work, which anyone can control, no matter what the malady or issue or difficulty is. And for him, self-esteem was earned, not given. So starting when I was like 5 or 6 years old, he was having me do 200 push-ups a night or a day. If I did that for 3 months, there was a reward at the end. And it was to teach me, even if I couldn't be good at school, I couldn't be good at sports, I couldn't be popular or have friends, there were things I could be good at and could take pride in because I could do them. And that is a message that works across any part of the difficulties of growing up.
Yes, sir. And so where can people get more information on your book?
Well, David, I don't want anybody to stop watching the program right now, but pull out your phone, go to Amazon. It's available right now. Born Lucky, just type it in. The book comes up. It's on Amazon, and then there will be a special on Newsnation this Sunday night with Bill O'Reilly. So the special and the book go together, and it is a message of real hope. And I'd be honored for folks to come along on this journey with me.
Yes, sir. And tell us a little bit about that special. What kind of things you're going to be talking about?
Well, look, David, you know that as a journalist, it's failure when you become the story. I am the story here. Every TV anchor writes a book. But this is going to be different because rather than me just yapping, I'm going to hand saying how wonderful I am. Bill O'Reilly is going to come on and talk to me about this story and challenge me about this story in a way a journalist does. So you'll get a very different perspective on this story, and I think one that's important. That if I'm going to be honest as a journalist, if I'm going to try to tell my story, I have to question it the same way I do everybody else who comes on my show.
Yes, sir. And with all this stuff going on in the news and things like that, can you just put a face on autism, kind of what it is for people that don't know what autism is and how you're living with it and being a news anchor?
Yeah. Look, it's a great question, David. I don't know whether it's Autism Society or Autism Speaks, but they say that if you've met one kid with autism, you've met one kid with autism. And autism is different for everybody. I can tell you for me, it's still something I struggle with. I was at my father-in-law's golf course a couple of weeks ago, and one thing about autism is you can get very focused on one task and sort of space out the rest of the world or shut it out. And I was trying to pack my golf bag, and I was late for something. And there was a guy who I'd played golf with my father-in-law who came over and wanted to talk to me. And I was just horrifically rude to him because I was just in my little zone, in my world. And even as I was doing it, I realized what I was doing was wrong. I sort of couldn't help myself. And afterwards, I wrote him a long note and just said, God, I am so sorry. I was so rude to you. Never use what I have been diagnosed with or anything like that as an excuse. That was never allowed in my house. The standard is the standard. But by way of saying, David, I think there's still a lot of people who are out there who are really struggling. And as I said, this is a message of hope that everybody with real dedication from their parents can be more.
Yes, sir. Well, Leland, thank you so much for your time.
All the best, David.
Thank you. For more information, go to the website right there on your screen. We'll be back with more K2K's East Texas Live in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us.
Let me tell you a story about a kid. Shy, bullied, diagnosed with autism, something that affects 1 out of every 31 kids in America today. But this boy had a dad who refused to let that diagnosis define his child. You see, that boy is me. That father is mine. I'm Leland Vittert. Join me and my good friend Bill O'Reilly as we give hope to other families. My story, Born Lucky, Sunday at 8, 7 Central on Newsnation.